Chapter 14. And it took place that he went into the house of one of the rulers of the Pharisees to eat bread on a Sabbath. And they watched him. And behold, there was a man before him who had edema. And Jesus responded and spoke to the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath? But they were silent. And he took hold, healed him, and let him go. And responding to them, he said, Which of you shall have a donkey or an ox fall into a pit, and he would not immediately pull him out on the Sabbath day? And they were not able to reply to him as to these things. And he spoke a parable to the guests, remarking how they chose the chief places, saying to them, When you are invited by anyone to a wedding, do not recline in the chief place, lest a more respected one than you has been invited by him. And he that invited both him and you shall say to you, Come, and give place to this one. Then you shall be ashamed when you take the lowest place. Instead, when you are invited, go and sit in the lowest place, that when he comes that invited you, he may say, Friend, come up higher. Then you shall have glory before those who recline with you. Because whoever exalts himself shall be humbled, and he that humbles himself shall be exalted. Then he also said to him who had invited him to dinner, When you make dinner or a supper, do not invite your friends or your brothers, nor your kinsmen or rich neighbors, lest they then invite you in return and a repayment is made. But when you make a feast, call the poor, crippled, lame, and blind, and you shall be blessed, for they cannot repay you, for you shall be repaid in the resurrection of the righteous. Then one of them that sat at the table, hearing this, said to him, Blessed is he who shall eat bread in the kingdom of God. But he said to him, There was a man who made a great supper and invited many. And he sent his servant at the hour of supper to say to those who were invited, Come, everything is now ready. And they all began to make excuses. The first said to him, I have bought a field, and I need to go and see it. Please have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 pairs of oxen, and I am going to prove them. Please have me excused. Then another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. And the servant came and reported these things to his lord. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring the poor, and crippled, and lame, and blind. And the servant said, Lord, it has been done as you commanded, and there is still room. And the Lord said to the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come, that my house may be filled. For I tell you that none of those men who were invited shall taste my supper. There went a great crowd with him, and he turned to them and said, If anyone comes to me and hates not his father and his mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whoever does not carry his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, desiring to build a tower, would not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it, lest, after that he laid the foundation, he should not be able to finish it? Then all that see it would begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king would go to make war against another king without first sitting down to take counsel, whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him that comes against him with 20,000? And if not, then while he is still far off, he sends an ambassador and asks for terms of peace. Therefore, every one of you that does not forsake all that he has cannot be my disciple. Salt is good, but if the salt shall become tasteless, with what shall it be seasoned? It is fit for neither land nor manure. So they cast it out. He that has ears to hear, let him hear.